All right. Let me make sure I got it right. Kamisi Fox, WK2 FM, world knowledge to free minds, and you're behind at the same time. Yeah, I want to talk about something, and I didn't do a whole lot of preparation. Didn't do any preparation, really. There's a lot of preparation I could do to get deeper into it, but once again, you study too long, you study wrong sometimes. I should have been talked about this. Black men are being called into account by different people now. Black women are honestly, putting it before calling black men to accountability for our actions. To know what I'm talking about, you can check out Cynthia G's videos, Sister Noble, different people like that. People are getting in on it. I separate Cynthia G because I think she's honest. I separate her from people like Crystal and Karazin, who I think are just bitter and hateful towards black men. I don't think they're trying to solve anything. Maybe they are, but it doesn't look like it to me. But there are real black women who are trying to solve this situation, and they're calling, they're talking about divesting and things. A lot of that, once again, is just the manosphere in reverse. But some of it is honest. Over on Cynthia G's side, I think they're honest. Okay? So I started that conversation about accountability to lead into what this video is about. I think I called it black men apparently don't find it necessary or don't think it's important for us to challenge weaponized music that's aimed at our women and children. That's aimed at us. Let's just say aimed at our children. Because it's aimed at all of us, men, women, and children. But the children are we know that the children are the innocent victims in this. Okay. There are certain things about black people and black situations that are unique to anybody else. Black men, for instance, we're the only ones who allow music to be weaponized in the way that it's being weaponized against us and our people. No other music consistently talks about murdering each other. No other music where does any race of people talking about murdering other members of their race. That's distinctive with rap music. The link is in the chat if anybody wants to, join in or speak on any of what I'm saying, or correct me or set me straight if I'm wrong. But I'm not wrong. Black men, black music, rap music in particular, is weaponized. It's over-sexualized. Sex, the murder, and the misogyny is over the top. Back in the 90s, when they were first discussing this, we made excuses. And we were caping for it when there were a few people trying to do the right thing, like Reverend Calvin Butts stepped up to try to censor it. And it needs to be censored. Today, the need for censorship is a lot more obvious than it was back when Reverend Calvin Butts was trying to censor it. Along with the PMRC, Tipper Gore, Al Gore's wife, C. Dolores Tucker, all of those people caught a lot of flack for what they were doing. But I look back and I can say honestly today that all of those people that I just named were on the right path. Because the rap music has reached the level of the misogyny has reached an all-time high. I mean, back then, you couldn't hear a song on the radio about fellatio, about black women giving fellatio, or back then, prostitution was not pushed as women's empowerment, not outright prostitution like it is now. What you hear in the music of Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, and others, you hear straight prostitution really being pushed. Straight that you gotta tax these niggas. You can't be having sex for no reason. You got to tax these moms. Wet ass pussy. I mean, it's off the chain now. It's even more pronounced back when than it was back when the PMRC and Reverend Calvin Butts and C. Dolores Tucker were trying to censor it or trying to slow it down or put a lid on it, stop it from the degenerate situation it's gotten to. They have all turned out to be right. But how much does black men give a damn about it is what it comes down to, because we are the ones who are supposed to put a stop to it. We see over in China I think it's China, where degenerate rap music was banned. We looked at it and we saw that the men of that civilization were willing to ban the degenerate rap. That's because they care enough about their people to ban it. How much do black men care? I notice when I bring this up in different people's forums and things, people look at me or, deal with that statement as if I'm smoking crack, as if I've said something totally ridiculous. You see, in the black community, nobody wants to seem like they're old and outdated. In the black community, you're not allowed to get old. And I don't even want to use the word get old. You're not allowed to age. You're not allowed to mature to the point where you want to get things in order. You see, one of the tenets of manhood is correction. And when the people are incorrect, it's up to the men of that civilization to get things in order, to decide what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. At what point do we deem the music unacceptable? I mean, since we have music about wet ass pussy being pushed to little children, we have the worst stuff being pushed. I mean, what other civilization or what other group of people accept this? Black people stand alone in this. No other men or women allow their children to be attacked in such blatant and obvious manner, psychologically attacked. Not to mention the physical attacks, the way we're taking each other out. We're following the direction of the music, of the rap music. I looked at before getting on, I looked at an article called Fear of a Rap Planet. And this is from March 1st, 1984, in some editorial called Fair. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just grabbed it as an example because I know what they were doing back then. It says rappers face media double standard. You see, they were calling it a double standard when really the rap music was misogynist and is misogynist, and everything they charged about it was correct. We just wanted to go along with it. We were part of the go along to get along gang. I myself was part of the go along, get along gang because I tried to go along with this music because I liked it and because, I was down with the go along to get along. Look at it. Let's look at it. It says, now the article is saying it's a double standard. So the article is in favor of the degenerate rap music. Let's be clear. I'm going to be more clear after I read something here. It says the latest backlash against top-selling but controversial rap music has hit the airwaves. The latest controversy centers on so-called gangster rap, a term used by mainstream media in the late 80s to describe rap music, such as that of the group NWA, Niggas with Attitude, whose lyrics often focus on the subject of urban violence. Teen-oriented stations across the U.S. are either editing its graphic, explicit lyrics, limiting its airplay, or banning it. Now look where we are today. I'm gonna stop reading right there. Look where we are today. And I can vouch for the fact that NWA's album, Niggas with Attitude, NWA's album, Straight Outta Compton, even though it was sonically good, beats banging and all of that stuff, good music, good production on the part of Dr. Dre, despite all of that. And that's part of the problem, that it is sonically good. But it introduced into rap music things that were not there before, which was gunplay. Prior to that album, gunplay was not prominent. Straight shit talking. We had never heard so much shit being talked on the record, so much cursing, so much. They took the cursing to a new level. So much cursing, so much shit talking. The disregard of life, the disregard of black life, how quick they'll kill a nigga. They introduced 40 ounces in alcoholic, getting drunk, rolling off that 8-ball and just wilding out, doing crime against your people, murdering your people, speaking of doing violence to women and other people. Violence. All of that was introduced by way of that album. Now, this article right here downplays it. It says, the latest controversy centers on so-called gangster rap, a term used by mainstream media in the late 80s to describe rap music such as that of the group NWA, Niggas with Attitude, whose lyrics often focus on the subject of urban violence. See, that's downplaying it, whose lyrics often focus on the subject of urban violence. They're not just focusing on the subject of urban violence. They're threatening they're threatening violence. I'll kill a nigga, shoot a nigga, bust a nigga upside the head, do this, that, and the third to him. I'll rat pack on a nigga. I never should have been let out the penitentiary. So on and so on and so on. I don't have to go be specific. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm being outdated. I'm being an old fogey stogie, out of touch, because I'm talking about it in the way that I'm talking about it now. I said it was sonically good to me back then. A lot of the music was sonically good. Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style was sonically good. But listen to the lyrics. Guess who's back in the motherfucking house? Put a fat D in your motherfucking mouth. Come on, man. I mean, as black men, where do we draw the line, man? You know what I'm saying? Some things just should not be put out to your people, not to your women and your children, not if you want your people to develop. You know what I'm saying? Peace. What up, Bakari? I see you in the chat room, man. Come on in if you feel like it, man, and join in this discussion, man. I'm just doing this straight off the cuff. I decided to not wait any longer. I wanted to get together some pictures and a couple of things, but that would just take too long. Then I would end up procrastinating and never get around to this subject. I talk about this when we have discussions every now and then. I say that the proper action of this time is that we should go to the radio stations and try to put a shutdown on this. We have to stop this. That's not popular. Because as you can see back here in 94, they were making excuses. And those same excuses will be made today. I mean, let's be clear. Let me look at this article right here. And by the way, anybody who, like I said, anybody wants to join in, the link is in the chat right there. Y'all can click that link, join in this. But I'm getting to the nitty gritty. I'm talking about things that, it's time now. I mean, it's time. The music doesn't even sound as good anymore. Not only is it harmful lyrically, it's not even sonically as good. That's arguable. I understand the draw that some of these low frequency bass tones, boom, boom, but, especially the generation that's grown up in it, I guess it's sonically super to them because they don't have anything to compare it to. The generation before us said the same thing. I get it. All right. I understand that you're not going to really agree with that because you don't have, if you're young, you don't have anything to compare it to. But I'm talking to the black men. We have a responsibility to our community, to our people. And it's either we're going to regulate it or we're not, or we're not. It's come down to that. And the reason I say that is because, like I said, we have the distinction of having the only music that talks about on a regular basis. You can show me a country song where a white man is talking about killing another white man. Can somebody name that country song and put it in the chat? Name some other genre of music where people just randomly talk about killing each other. It don't have to be a country song. Any genre of music. Just name it. Think how hard you have to think. So black men we have a distinction. We're allowing our people, we're allowing music to be weaponized against us, and we have been allowing it for about a couple of decades now. It's time for us to go ahead and put a stop to it, if we give a damn. Because the thing is, we're too wrapped up in it ourselves. I've been guilty of the same. I rocked off of those albums. I rocked off of NWA. I rocked off of Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, even with the filthy lyrics, talking, pretty much pumping the hatred of women. We don't love them hoes. I don't give a fuck about a bitch. If I gave a fuck about a bitch, I'd always be broke. I'd never have no endo to smoke. I mean, I could go on and on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have to be specific. We bobbed our head to this music and we got down with it. We ignored the fact that it was completely misogynist and even genocidal, because it's talking about murdering each other. Our disregard for ourselves. No other genre of music expresses such disregard for one's own people as rap. There was a time I would have argued along with this article. I would have said, there's a double standard. See, listen to this article here. This article here is doing deflection, just like a lot of things did back then, and still do when you try to stop this genocidal surge of music, this weaponized music used against us. Okay. Yeah, I hear you, Brother McCarty. Anytime you want to come in, it's all good. I decided to go ahead and run on this topic right here and get the conversation started, because black men are being called to account nowadays, and now is the time, no other time better than the present. I'm glad that the sisters are calling black men to account. Now, I'm separating some, like there are some of these sisters who just have hatred. I mean, I don't count Crystal and Karazin, Crystal and Crazy, and people like that. A lot of these divestors are really just the manosphere in reverse. I'm talking about the honest ones, the ones who are being honest, who really are calling us, say, look, are really fed up with what we're doing and what we're allowing, and how, we're just passively going along and getting along. Going along to get along. My rap career is over. I'm not going to be considered cool because I'm going against it. I'm ready to shut it down. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm ready to shut down all rap music, but I'm willing to do it if it means saving our children, saving our race, saving our dignity, saving our pride. This music has been point blank weaponized. Are we going to deny this? Are we going to keep playing dumb about it? Are we going to keep making excuses? Because if we do, we are the only men that would allow such. No other race of people are being, the music is not weaponized against any other race in a way that it's weaponized against us. And the death rate and the murder rate and everything reflects the long-term effects over several decades of this music going at us in this manner. No self-respecting men would allow this. Why do black men allow it? Why do we go along to get along? Because we don't want to be unpopular. We don't want nobody to call us a hater, Because that's what a lot of people will call us. They'll say we hating on Jay-Z. We hating on all of these people. I'm not just naming Jay-Z. We hating on these rappers because they paid and they making money and you ain't shit. Look at you. See, we scared to be the subject of that backlash because our people are immature in the brain. And it's black men's job to correct them, no matter how crazy they are, no matter how backwards and stupid and ridiculous. It has to stop, and it's up to the men to stop it. And I'm just asking, are we going to do it? Either we is or we isn't. You know? Yeah. Like, that's right. That's right. That's right. Brother Bakari says we went from bragging on dealing crack to bragging on sipping syrup and popping pills. That's right. Bragging on all it and bragging on murdering each other. We still brag on that. You got rappers who are talking about digging up the graves of dead rappers, talking about killing dead rappers. And these things actually go on at some funerals. I mean, it's just off the chain. There is no amount of disrespect. It's a bottomless pit of self-hatred. It is a black rap music right now is a black self-hatred orgy. Right? That's what it is. It's gone way beyond any other genre of music where black men are sitting holding the dunce cap. We're the ones holding that distinction of having the most degenerate, weaponized music against us in such a way, and we going along and getting along with it. I guess because the president would go ahead and interview Cardi B to add insult to injury. Because he can legitimize some of this degeneracy. A woman who has said on camera that she robbed and drugged black men and set them up to get robbed and drugged and take their money and things that are considered to be crimes. We the only ones that just go along and get along with that and let that stuff slide and don't put a shutdown on nothing. So that just means anything goes when it comes to hoes. Anything goes when it comes to black folks. When I say hoes, I'm talking about the black race in general, and the black man in particular is being a hoe. Because we are allowing all kinds of things to rape us, all types of psychological, and I'm talking about blatant psychological warfare. I was even talking about that movie Buck Breaking, blatant psychological warfare. We down with it and we go along to get along because we don't want our people to talk against us and say that we're out of touch and say that we're the enemy. You can call me the enemy all day long. I don't give a damn. It is my job as a man to correct, to put some correction, and our job is to correct and protect. It is not to always be popular. Our first job is not popularity. Our job is to correct, and we are failing to do it because we want to remain popular. We want to remain relevant. We want to remain we want to stay young. We don't ever want to grow into manhood. That ain't growing old. That's just simply manhood. We should have stopped this a long time ago. It never should have gotten this far. When Reverend Calvin Butts and C. Dolores Tucker were doing the right thing and taking the right stance on it, we should have picked it up instead of making excuses like you see in this article here. Look here, this article here is just caping for the degenerate rap music, and this is back in 1994. It wasn't degenerate then as it is now. But you see where it's gotten to, and you can see that they were, look at this. It says many journalists charge that the lyrics of gangster rap advocate violence and misogyny, and that this advocacy may contribute to actual violent and misogynist attitudes and behavior among some of the music's listeners. Does it not? Does it not? I mean, it's time for us to stop playing. The gangster rap does advocate violence and misogyny. And this advocacy does contribute to actual violent and misogynist attitudes and behavior. See, look what this article goes on to say. The recent arrests of rap artist Tupac Shakur, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and Flavor Flav, along with anti-rap community protests, and the decision of a few black radio stations to ban what were termed violent or misogynist rap songs, set off an anti-rap chorus in papers across the country, is what this article says. It says, typical of the coverage was a Dallas Morning News editorial that asked, just how much does art imitate life? That's a good question. These rappers are role models for millions of impressionable youths. Teenagers are already trying to emulate how the hip-hop artists dress and talk. Will they now act like they're heroes? Maybe the more relevant question is, why even risk it? Rarely did these, you know what? Everything I'm reading right now that they're saying, I agree with. And it's proven to be just that. The rap is influential. That's why the president interviewed Cardi B. You need any more proof than that, how influential it is? And yes, it does translate into actual violence and actual misogynistic attitudes that black men already have too much of. Okay, but listen to how this, I'm going to just keep reading because I want to get to how this article capes for it. Makes excuses, or what's that word I'm looking for? It makes diversions. Look at it. It says, rarely did these articles discuss whether there was any evidence of a casual relationship between hip-hop lyrics and actual violence. As if there is no evidence. You see how they caping for it? In fact, the gun homicide rate has been steadily rising since 1984, which is 5 years before the first mass audience gangster rap album, NWA's Straight Outta Compton, was released. Yet lack of evidence did not prevent media pundits from making sweeping generalizations. See, they saying it's sweeping generalizations. Well, years later down the line, you see what's happening. The violence being pushed towards black people is actually being supported by the music. And we are the only ones that have music that support it to that degree. Can you name a country song? I use country as an example. Name another genre of music where the women are talking about wet ass pussy and fellatio, where they actually use those terms. Can you name another song, another genre of music where they would even use such a term? And I'll wait for that. And matter of fact, I'll put money on it. If you can name it, I'll give $50 for each one you name. It's time to stop making damn excuses. When are black men gonna be men? When are black people gonna stand up and be people? It's up to the men to lead the way. So I'm addressing the men on this above everybody else. If we are men, if there are any men left, I know my brother Bakari agrees with me. In fact, we're going to do a program on this called, what'd you say you was going to call it, Brother Bakari? A moment in time, when we was going to talk about that, how the PMRC and all of them stepped up to do that, and how they were actually correct in what they were saying and doing. And, you know, like you hear in this article, excuses were being made. Here we got, it says, like many genres of music, see, they're trying to make it seem like the rap isn't number one in the degeneracy. We can stop pretending now, because rap stands alone as the most degenerate and the most misogynistic. It's the only one that's saying wet ass pussy. Come on, man. We got to stop playing. Like many, look what the article says. It says, like many genres of music, rap contains some sexist and violent elements. That's an understatement. But why the disproportionate coverage of sexism and violence in rap as opposed to other media? See? Caping, making excuses. No other genre of music acts like that way, talks that way. That's why. So let me see what's going on. Hold on, y'all. I got that. All right. I gotta stay focused right here. Like many genres of music, rap contains some sexist and violent elements. But why the disproportionate coverage of sexism and violence in rap as opposed to other media? All of a sudden, mainstream media have become concerned with the plight of black women. Well, somebody should be concerned about the plight of black women. That wasn't the case when they devoted massive coverage to the rape of the white Central Park jogger and almost no coverage of the rapes of 26 women of color. See, this is what you call, what's this word? That's diversion. That's a diversion. We were talking about the music. We were talking about the rap music. Now it's talking about the Central Park and the rapes. Look, the music promotes the stuff, though. Do y'all see this? Do you see how we were diversion and making excuses and caping for it? Like, I'm going to read this again. I wonder if anybody caught what I just caught. How they went from music. Look, like many genres of music, rap contains some sexist and violent elements. Now, that's the understatement of the year. Like many genres of music, rap contains some sexist and violent elements. I'd have to say a hell of a lot. You can't get a rap song if it ain't got no sexist and violent elements. It can't be played. What does A.O. Canseco say? It's a rap trap. You can't even get no play if you don't have some sexist and violence elements. If you just want to rap, look, this article was written in 1994, caping for it, making an excuse. What's the excuse now? Now that rap stands alone as the most degenerate. It has taken the place of heavy metal, grunge metal, speed metal, Megadeth, all of that. Rap has taken the lead in degeneracy, Satanism, and every other negative thing in music. And it's not because we are that type of people. Here's what the deal is. You know what's going on. We are allowing that. You know, if it were up to us, we wouldn't be making that type of music, but we are allowing some men in high places with lots of money to pour money on us and allow us to go along to get along, allow us to step back and allow our minds, the minds of our children, the minds of our future to be raped in such a manner. We are allowing it. That's what we're doing. Most YouTubers are going along to get along and ain't going to just say it just like it is. But the proof is right here. It's right now. The women are now challenging us, correctly so. What are we going to do? Are we going to continue to play dumb? Are we going to continue to try to stay young and relevant? Or are we going to be men? Are we going to do what men are supposed to do? We are supposed to correct. Shout out to Kwame Brown, one of the few brothers who was talking about correction. Everything Brother Kwame is talking about for the youth, get them involved, get them with skilled trades, get them in coding, and to stop the get along gang from destroying our image, to stop the sportscasters and sport writers and from destroying the image of the young athletes. This is the job of black men. We are supposed to correct things. We are not supposed to go along to get along, especially when our nation is being attacked, when our future is being attacked. It is a very unpopular thing to shut down rap music as it is, because there's billions of dollars in it now. Everybody is smelling the cash. Everybody wants to be like whoever the top guy is right now. We got rappers that we can call billionaires. We got Dr. Dre, who constantly disrespects and gives money to USC, and I heard that Jay-Z and Meek Mill gave money, spent millions of dollars on some gift for Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots. I got that information from Brother Bakari today. We are constantly doing ridiculous-ish, and we all want to step up and replace those men. Those men are nothing. Ask Bill Cosby. He went from being America's dad to now being America's rapist. I'm saying that to say that these lofty positions, they can blow anybody up and they can take them down just as quick. It's illusory. It's an illusion, people. Damn. And all the men are not supposed to be bamboozled into silence and into backing up and allowing our people to be raped over some pipe dreams of being the man one day. No, damn whoever the man is, because they give you one at a time, or they give you a handful of them at one time, and make you think that the rest of the race is all right, because we got a couple of so-called muggles and multimillionaire Negroes who all can be taken down at the drop of a hat, or quicker than that. Look how fast it happened to Bill Cosby. Oprah knows it can happen to her. Ain't nobody exempt from it. Multi-million-dollar Negroes put in our face. Are we going to remain psychologically handicapped, going for the same old game? Do black men have enough sense to put a stop to anything? Are we just mentally stupid? Are we just stupid and slow? Do we have any damn principles? It's on us now because it's all obvious. It stands out now. We are the only ones that are allowing music to be weaponized against our people. Nobody else is music being weaponized against their race and their people in such a way as it's being done to us. We stand alone in this distinction. We stand alone. No other men. Just like Cynthia G points out, there are no other men that speaks against their women the way we speak against our women publicly. This cannot be denied. Nobody is going to take us serious until we finally take ourselves serious and do something serious and start putting a stop to some of this blatant fuckery that is not only being done to us, but we are doing to ourselves. The self-hatred of black people's self-hatred, hatred of self is legendary at this point. The way we hate, the way we are stuck in colorism for decades upon decades. We've openly talked about how we don't like dark-skinned women, how we want red bones, and nothing but a certain complexion of women appears in the videos. Damn it, when is this shit going to stop? And you want somebody to take you seriously. I don't take us seriously as long as we're going to allow that. I'm sick of it. So when I hear women saying they're sick of it, what am I going to say? You think I'm going to argue with them? No, not me. Unlike my brothers, I can handle the truth. I want to do something about it. And we better do something about it before we lose our women. Because the general consensus is, well, they ain't got nowhere to go. Hey, you better think twice about that, black man. The black woman is, look, the truth is going to eventually come out now. The white boy's going to make it known that the black woman is the true Miss Universe right now. You better don't take it for granted. Don't take her for granted. And then that'll make us the biggest losers. I don't want that fate to come upon us. So I'm taking what they're saying seriously because they're correct. It's not like they're lying. And once again, I separate the truthful ones from those. There are there are a lot of women who are just the manosphere in reverse. You know, they hate men. I'm not talking about them. I'm overlooking the Candace Owens and I'm looking over those type. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the women who are honest. And the women who are honest are being honest and saying they're tired of what we're doing. They're sick of it. And I understand them because I'm sick of it too. And I'm starting with this premise right here with this music. We have to do what we have to do. Stop trying to be cool and relevant. Look, I'm a rapper. I can feel like I can battle any rapper right now. But damn that. Damn my rap career. They're trying to destroy my people. You think I'm going to put some rap career? You think the Beast can offer me some money to put me on and make me be a part of this nonsense? Or to make me be quiet about it? If they say, look, we're going to put you on, but you got to shut up. How can we call ourselves men if we can be bought out? Somebody tell me, am I saying something wrong? Am I off track or what? The way I see it, it is our job to correct our situation, and we need to start with this stuff that's blatant. This stuff that I'm talking about is not a secret. It's blatant. It's in your face. All of us can hear the music. All of us can see it. It's beyond. See, look at this article back here written in 1994 before things got way to the point that it is now. Caping for it. And we went along with it, knowing that the music was degenerate, misogynist, sexist, self-hating. We're the only ones talking about murdering each other. But we were willing to overlook it because so much money is being made, right? So we went along with this article, which is making excuses. It says, like many genres of music, rap contains some sexist and violent elements. That's an understatement, and you know it. But why the disproportionate coverage of sexism and violence in rap as opposed to other media? Well, because no other media is that adamant about, no other media, no other genre of music is that explicit. No other women's music, no other people's music is talking about wet ass pussy. This is only going on in rap music, which is aimed primarily, which is displaying black people. We know what the deal is. Don't play dumb anymore. The article says, but why the disproportionate coverage of sexism and violence in rap as opposed to other media? All of a sudden, mainstream media have become concerned with the plight of black women. That wasn't the case when they devoted massive coverage to the rape of the white Central Park jogger, and almost no coverage of the rapes of 26 women of color also reported in New York that week. And not when black women were routinely stereotyped as welfare cheats and irresponsible teen mothers. That is a diversion, y'all. They talking about music, and then they went from talking about music. See, that's making an excuse for the damn degenerate music. That's a deflection. That's a deflection right there. It goes on to say, bad boys versus gangsters. The double standard applied to rap as compared to rock was pointed out most clearly in a letter to the editor in the Washington Post, which commented to the outcry surrounding the song Cop Killer. Look, Cop Killer ain't even the problem. Most people haven't even heard that song. Forget Cop Killer. What about Wet Ass Pussy? That's one that's on the radio. That's one everybody's hearing. Huh? What about all these songs talking about murdering each other? Forget that song. You see? We're caping. They were caping and making excuses back then. And we still caping and making excuses right now. I say that we need to go down to these radio stations and have a physical presence there to put a stop to it, to begin the process of shutting it down. Of shutting it down. Yes, You feel we shouldn't shut it down because it's different types of rap. You got there's the gangster rap, there's the this to that. See, we make excuses. We want to be relevant. We want to be hip. We want to be popular. It is our job as men to shut it down, to do just what other men would do and not allow it to get to the place that it is now if we are to call ourselves men. And if we're not, then we're not men. We're something else. I just thought I would come on live and put this out there. And I'm not even finished with it. But I get tired. I don't want to sit by and watch no more. I can't be a bystander. Bystander or just watcher and not let it be known. I want it to be known to some of our sisters. There are brothers who want to do things, but you see, we're outnumbered. We're outnumbered by those who don't want to do, those who make excuses. We're outnumbered. There are those of us who don't want no Becky, who only rock with the black woman. There are those of us like that. And we want to do that. We don't want to just provide lip service. We don't want to. No, there are those of us who are really willing to stand on that. There are those of us. I heard one of the sisters say, "I'm not going to hate the white man for you, because you're not going to hate. You're not going to have no smoke with Becky for me." Well, here's one who does. I will have the smoke with Becky for you. Okay? We got to correct those of us. It's time for those of us who are real and righteous about this to step up about it. And I don't even want to use the word righteous because we got to get downright dirty. My thing is, I'm willing to do whatever the necessary roughness it is. I'm the one that talks about conquering. I ain't just talking about surviving the racism of this society. No. We have to be willing to compete with the rest of the men in this world. And that means conquering, winning. We're the ones that are equipped to win. And we're the ones that are losing. This has to stop. We talk about the conquering line, but we don't want to do any conquering. We don't want to do any conquering. We don't even want to compete. And this is ridiculous. And I'm not going to be a bystander and stand by. Because when I hear the women talk about it, it fires me up. Not because they're lying, not because I'm fired up at them. They're telling the truth. They're telling the truth. What are we going to do? That is the question that remains. I'm telling you what I think we need to do. We need to first put a stop to the things that are blatant, that are obvious. The weaponization of the music is obvious. And why aren't we going to stop it? The question is, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, black man? Are we going to stay individuals and never amalgamate our power and our force to make change? Do we want to compete with other men? Do we or doesn't we? Do we or don't we? Is we is or is we isn't? That's the question. I'm going to leave the question out there. Black man, it's up to you to give the answer. I'm going to be back with it, but I'm done for right now. Had to get that off my chest. This is Kamisi Fox for WK2FM. World knowledge, two free minds, and you're behind at the same time. I'm out for now. There it is.